Earlier, we talked to Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. Let's go now to that interview. Folks, there's Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. Jeff, a while back, what a match you had with Motley.
Yep. Probably the hardest match I ever had in my life. But I don't like it when things aren't going my way. Motley Cruz, you turn the tables on me. You turn the tables in a wrong way. You got me mad now. I've stood around. I've listened to everything you had to say. I did everything necessary. But when you turn around and you backstab me one way or another, and you cheat me out of what's rightfully mine, that's when I get angry. Now I'm the one doing the challenging. I'm issuing a challenge to you, Motley Cruz. Get in the ring with me. This time, I'm going full force.
Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. Now let's go to the ring.
I'm doing the challenge now, brothering around. I stood around and I listened to everything you gotta say. And I did everything necessary. But now you got me mad now. I'm Wes Gardner, Mr. Kami the Hobo. We had to have that promo on there. Like, holy shit. Jeff Farmer, you
Jumpin'
genius.
Jeff Farmer.
Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. Oh, man. But I'm Wes Gardner. Over there is Mr. Marco Flores.
What's up? Talking Jericho podcast I listened to with Tyler Breeze said that one of his characters was going to be a surfer guy named Kale Cove.
What the f?
And I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. Oh. Oh, we got Mr. Todd, EVF.
What's going on?
Oh.
You turned the tables the wrong way.
I just like he says, I stood around and listened to everything you had to say. I did everything that was necessary. Like, it was necessary for you to stand and listen to this guy blab about something, like...
Yes.
So bizarre. And, of course, Moriarty.
I'm back.
You are back.
Welcome back.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We had to do the best promo ever to make sure you're back on the show. We had to...
Oh, thank you.
Joe, we had to pull out the big guns, Jump Jeff Farmer, to a celebration.
Those are some mighty big guns.
They are. You got me mad now. Oh my god, that whole thing. Just
Who's gonna make a shirt out of that?
I bet there's already one. I'd like.
I mean, I
to
could
make a
probably
shirt
get
out of
something together in like 10 minutes and have it up in the shop. So
There you go.
Let's do it.
No, he's probably like
Brother
Virgil.
back.
He's gonna ask for
Me mad now.
all kinds of money.
That should be the brother back shirt. It's like, you got me mad now.
Oh yes, you got me on the front, and then on the back it says "Mad Now." Holy shit,
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, man.
You turn the tables on me,
Yeah.
and then the back says, "You turn the tables on the wrong way." Have it be like upside down. Yeah, all it says is YIP. Like, yep.
Yeah.
yep.
Yep.
Now back to the match.
Yeah. And that guy's a consummate professional, by the way. The other ring announcer guy, he's like, all right, that was Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. Let's go back to the ring. Like, he just like stares at him like, what the fuck? And then he just goes back to like, all right. We're like,
he didn't break for anything.
he doesn't, man. The kayfabe is real. It
is real.
It's real to me, damn it. So this is going to be an off the rails episode because I don't think we have anything planned. Like, I think there's one thing, and we'll talk about that in just a second. The return of the majestic and the mighty. Maybe the greatest pay-per-view gimmick of all time. Besides a Punjabi prison. I mean, let's keep it real.
What about King's Road, where they couldn't film an angle because they were bleeding and they weren't supposed to bleed, so they had to be up top. They only had to film from the helicopter.
Holy shit!
the King of the Road match.
King of the Road, right? Yeah. King of the Road. Sorry.
That's so good. Oh my! Like how, but that reminds me of how they used to. If you look back at old WCW, one of the reasons why it was such a clusterfuck. One of the reasons why it was so bad because it was they had to, this was like during the Monday Nitro and the Thunder, like WCW Thunder. That just reminded me how someone bled so they couldn't film an angle. Apparently, they filmed Thunder on like the Sunday before the Monday Nitro, but 2 weeks in the future. So like,
What?
yeah. So I think Kevin Nash did an interview about this, about like why WCW booking was so fucked up, because there was 1 week to where like Scott Steiner walked out as the champ on Monday, and then Thursday he was getting his number one contender match to like get the belt. And you're like,
okay,
he already got the belt. It's like, what the fuck? But like, this was an ongoing thing. So they had to plan out stories backwards.
Oh shit.
So
God.
Yeah, Kevin Nash was like, okay, we're filming next Thursday's Thunder before this Monday's live Nitro. So they had to know. So like the crowd would show up and like someone else would walk out with a belt and we're like, oh, wait, how did he get that belt? And that's what you're going to see the week before on Nitro. So weird. Like the most clusterfuck thing.
They were time splitting.
Pretty much. Like they had to write in the present, in the future, from the past. It was like the weirdest, the most genius bookers ever, because they're like, all right, we're gonna figure this out. In 9 months, you're gonna win the belt, and we're gonna film that yesterday. And then you're like, oh my god. But it's a wonder that
wait for Thunder to hit the network.
Yeah. It's gonna be like on QVC. And then that's gonna, and they would do that shit too. Like that would be a spoiler. You know, it's like, oh, well, Kevin Nash just walked onto the Today Show with the belt, but that episode of Nitro isn't gonna be filmed for another 3 weeks. So, like, it was such a mess. And I was like, thank God I'm not in this business, because that would, I would just drink myself silly if I had to deal with that type of stuff. That's just bonkers. But all that to say,
so the backtrack.
Yeah,
the backtrack. I'm gonna use "You're like a WCW" to somebody. That was too much.
You're like a WCW. It's like WCW.
You're like a WCW. What happened? It failed.
Dramatically.
I'm gonna use that at work.
Yeah, just pull a WCW. Yeah, I'll start using that at work too. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then that's a good way to figure out who the marks.
Like WCW.
Yeah, that's a good way to figure out who the smart marks in your staff are, because they might get it. They may be like, "Aha, yeah, it is like WCW," and everyone's like, "What the?" Like you're speaking in code.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, but all this to say, the beauty of WCW brought us War Games.
Yes,
which is apparently gonna be the next NXT Takeover.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Takeover Houston is now Takeover War Games.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's I don't even know. I don't even know, because it's one of those things. Okay, so like, what is an old school pay-per-view? Even if it's just the name, even if they didn't bring back the gimmick. Well, no, actually, they have to bring back the gimmick. Let's make that the rule. They have to bring back the gimmick of it. What do you think would be the next, like, after War Games? Are they going to be like, here's NXT Survivor Series? Or... I'm trying to think.
In your house.
Oh, in your house. Holy shit, that would be great.
Somebody's going to win a house.
Super Brawl.
Ooh,
yeah.
Super Brawl.
They do that right at the same time as Rumble.
Oh, good call.
You got that Saturday, you got Super Brawl, and then you got Sunday, you got the Royal Rumble.
Tuesday Night Titans.
Nobody wants that.
True.
The people that worked that show didn't even want it. I mean, they worked a pay-per-view that Sunday. They had a house show that Monday, and then they had to be in for this other pay-per-view on Tuesday. It was just, and all it was a rehash of the Sunday's pay-per-view. It was.
Okay.
I'm just saying they need to bring back Bad Blood. That's the one. BADD BLOOD. Because that's the one. Isn't that the one where Undertaker fought the Undertaker? And like the promo was the Undertaker holding up the Undertaker's decapitated head or something. Like I think that was what the was a
SummerSlam, because they had that whole Taker versus Taker thing going on there, where it was Glenn Jacobs or some shit, and which is funny. But what you're thinking about is the Austin Taker Bad Blood thing that happened.
Oh yeah,
that was a Bad Blood.
Maybe
it has some shit,
because it all kind of like runs together.
Yeah,
like that whole era. It's all kind of the one storyline for 6 years. It's just.
Oh man.
And now I'm trying to think, and you guys might be able to help me. What was the poster that was like almost like the old Nickelodeon show Hey Dude, where they're on like a ranch and like the cactus and stuff. I want to say it was a Survivor Series, but I don't think it was. I think it had some random ass name. It definitely dealt with Stone Cold as like the main guy, of course, because this is back during his kind of big prime. But I don't think it was Survivor Series. I don't think it was King of the Ring. It was like some dumbass name that they used one time, and then it was done. I can like see it in my mind's eye, but now I need to.
You lost me. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to search that.
Yeah, I need to do some vintage search. It may have been a Survivor Series. Oh, or was it Canadian Stampede?
There you go.
Is that the one?
I think it was.
Canadian Stampede. Holy shit. That doesn't even make sense.
That sounds terrible.
Ooh, they need to bring back Sold Out. Yeah. Yeah, WCW Sold Out, man. Oh, there were some terrible pay-per-views. Holy shit.
And
no.
The December to December. Yeah.
No.
So Sandman is stuck.
Yeah. He's too drunk. He couldn't get out of there.
Somebody give me a beer.
Is he trying to get into the McAllister's house? Thanksgiving surprise.
Oh God. That's great.
Look at Tatanka, dude.
Because that's exactly what I want to do when I'm surrounded by family. I want to watch wrestling on Thanksgiving. After people have been like drinking wine and are tired from turkey, and that's a great idea.
But why is one half of the turkey have a Japan flag? Oh, and
because they were going up against it was the Steiners, Luger, and Tatanka against Yokozuna and the team.
Yokozuna. Okay, there goes I see it.
Yep. I mean, they had to go up against the the foreign bad guys?
Yeah.
The ethnic bad guys. There you go.
Yeah, go ethnic bad guy.
Go ethnic bad guy.
Oh man. Oh, by the way, Moriarty got 280 now.
Oh, yeah. Really? The elite class of Twitter. How dare you?
Too sweet over here.
Yeah. I don't know how that happened.
I keep looking every single time I'm on Twitter. I'm like, okay, let me see. No. 5 minutes after. No. It's pretty sad. That's what it comes down to.
The sad part is I didn't actually realize it until like one of my like last tweets, which was just kind of like longer than normal. It's like, oh,
hey, it went through. Yeah.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah. Oh man. So Moriarty is the elite. You need some young bucks around you now.
That's right. You can't wear the...
Can't do the 2 suite anymore.
Yeah, I was about to say, you can't wear the pants with the 2 suite.
Damn it.
So sad. So, okay, why do we think that's actually something good to bring up? So, with the whole copyright deal on O2 Suite, and that's copyright by, WWE, because I guess they own WCW where it really started taking off. I think it's because Bucks are kind of maybe dabbling a little bit. I think they're getting their suit and tie on to show that they'll play ball with Trips. Be able to go to NXT, maybe even for an invasion angle.
I mean, their contract doesn't end until the end of 2018. Yeah. So, I think this was kind of the kick in the ass they needed. Because I mean, yeah, the whole thing is kind of bullshit in my opinion. Because the hand gesture, even before that, was used with North Carolina. The University of North Carolina fucking basketball team were using it before the hand. So I mean, and you can't trademark a hand gesture.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you can. Yeah. So I mean, it's weird. It's interesting, and then also it's the Turkish wolf. So it's actually used by used by a group in Turkey that's not a very friendly group.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a bunch of stuff with that hand gesture. So
yeah, that's true. Because I
mean,
of
course, when
go ahead.
When Gallows and Anderson do it, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Because they can now sell the merch with it on it, I guess.
A part of me believes that that Triple H and Vince could actually care less, but the lawyers are like, "Oh no, who's this outside group that's doing the same? Invading the arena that we're at, throwing 2 suite. We gotta take these guys."
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Triple H and Vince, like, whatever. I guess.
The biggest issue with the whole thing. Do you guys watch their YouTube show, Being the Elite?
A little bit. I haven't watched the full app, but
okay. So their invasion episode. I mean, it's no big deal, Cody Rhodes. Oh, Cody, my mistake.
How dare you? How dare you?
He at one point he does the speech from Independence Day, which is gold.
I totally would too. Yeah.
But they're talking to people, and one of the things they had in the episode was, so who would you're paying to see them, and the guy's just like, no, we got free tickets. Considering they're having such attendance problems, like right after that episode went out, the next day they got that cease and desist.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was, as I said, it was that kick in the ass of them going like, all right, well, I guess we should kind of rein back some of this shit.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, eventually I can see them playing ball. But I mean, with contracts coming up, New Japan, the two New Japan contracts that are coming up in January are the notable ones anyway, are Kenny Omega, who only signed a 1-year deal, believe it or not, and Rocky Romero.
Interesting.
And Rocky Romero and Gallows and Anderson, they have a history.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
of course.
They have a huge history. So
talking shop.
Yep. So I mean, that's a possibility there too. I mean, from my understanding as well, with Ring of Honor anyway, and obviously contracts, things change constantly. But as of the last I heard, girls working like on a per date basis with Ring of Honor, which is one of the reasons why he's not in that title picture anymore. So
didn't he also just win WCPW as well?
Defiant? What?
Refused to lose.
Well, no, they're no longer the WCPW anymore.
Well, still.
Yeah, fair enough.
He just like literally won a thing with
Marty,
the
right?
latest thing and things. And
Yeah, I thought I saw like a gif like of Marty winning a belt and then like Wade Barrett raising his hand or something.
mhm,
That was
Yeah.
it, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Hang on.
Yeah.
To the Twitter. Wait, I'm already there. Ha!
And you can search with so many characters now.
It's amazing.
You can just write the first chapter of War and Peace and just
Please tell me how glorious it is because I'm a vegan that doesn't have the capability yet.
Madam Moriarty, can I
Oh, wait,
please have
no,
some bread?
partially it. A little bit dead. There we go.
There it is.
That was a personal thing that he did. There's that.
yeah. See,
There it is.
see the good old the thing I'm excited about as far as Marty Scurll is his Ring of Honor Global Wars match against Naito is going to be so good, so good.
Oh,
That
Todd,
just-
you need a minute?
I'm just thinking about how great that match is going to be because of how like they had that one match where I might have been Ring of Honor because this is before he started really with New Japan, and Naito didn't take shit seriously from him, and then they did the finger spot, and it was fucking brilliant. He's just like,
I
"What the
don't
fuck are
know
you
how
doing?"
they-
Snaps it.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Oh god, that's be such a
Ooh.
great fucking match.
Do you guys know how that works?
No.
I am so curious how that he always gets that pop.
Yeah.
It's I have no idea, but it's an amazing fucking spot. It
Maybe
really is.
Or does he really like rip his?
I don't
opponent's
think he
hands?
actually like breaks their hand or finger in any way. Maybe they just kind of like pop a joint or something.
I guess so.
But it is like a very audible, like
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
super audible. It's,
we can't really
Is
ask him his secrets, so
Right,
you
yeah.
know.
That's not like
sauce.
that's not like super kicking, but then you to get that slap, you have to like slap your leg or your ass or something.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not that.
No.
Dude gets it every time. Like how? I'm like how?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
And what reminds me of that is okay, Marco, you remember that match I sent you with Trent Seven versus Yuji Nagata, and it was from
yeah,
England.
Yeah.
So and it's funny because I was just thinking, like any finger lock or wrist lock or something, a lot of us, whenever we see that happen, we're used to all the spectacle and the crazy moonsaults and stuff, but like a weird finger move and everyone like cringes like, oh god, because it's a different dynamic. So on the match it was Trent Seven versus Yuji Nagata, and Trent Seven does a spot on the outside to where he goes and he'll backhand slap you, like he'll run and backhand slap you across the chest while you're outside the ring and leaned up against the turnbuckle. Well, he runs to go hit Yuji Nagata with it, and he hits him with it once, and it's a loud Ric Flair thing, and everyone goes, woo! Trent Seven comes back about 10 yards or so and does a dead sprint to the turnbuckle, and backhands it, and Yuji Nagata moves. And Trent Seven, the back of his hand smashes into the steel of the actual thing, and it's louder than whenever it hit Yuji Nagata. And the whole crowd was like, oh! And then you can see, and it's part of the bit, but then Trent Seven just like grabs his hand and then just sat down. And you're like, he broke his fucking hand. He was like, there's no way he didn't get throttled. And then Yuji Nagata, being a genius, for the next 20 minutes, worked him on wrist locks. The whole match turned into a thing about like, oh, you broke your hand, let me just work your hand for 20 minutes. And I was like, oh my god, he's a genius. And it ended up like Trent Seven tapped out from like a wrist lock. And I was like, what a great match. Like, I want that type of psychology everywhere. Because it was, but yeah, it was a running start and he backhands a piece of metal. And you're like, I don't know how you can do that and not have it be for real.
Yeah.
Like, what gimmick is there on that? It's like, Nope, you just fucking slap the shit out of a metal pole, and now you have to deal with it. You know. Oh, it was so brutal. But it's funny how those type of moves are kind of the thing, right? And even like Jack Gallagher, his headbutts, you know, they're all worked headbutts.
Yeah.
But then you hear the slap and you see what his head did, and just the illusion comes together really well. So everyone in the audience is like, oh, headbutts. Oh, even though those type of headbutts are highly illegal, you know, now because of Shibata and Ishii and dudes like delving in their own craniums.
Yeah.
But apparently Shibata's doing good.
The finger break compilation.
That's
Compilation.
Yes.
I don't even know if I can watch that. I don't know if I can even watch that.
I mean, I have it set where when you hit play, it'll do the Naito one.
Yeah.
Ooh. So brutal.
Dude.
It's like, what do you got? What are you doing? Oh, shit. Love it.
If he gets signed on to WWE, I want to see him do this all the freaking time.
I want him to do it to the whole cruiserweight division.
Yeah.
Do the finger break to Braun Strowman.
Oh,
Dude,
God, that'd be terrific.
Nothing else. No slams, no wrist holds, not even like no drop kicks. Just catch the wrist, catch the hand.
Has there been a wrestler like that? Almost
that is just the one thing,
or just like a surgeon. Like they come over and then they like kick your knee and you're like, oh God, and then you like fall over and then you go and you like kick their ankle out and they're like, oh Jesus, and like I wonder how that would play. Like if you could do it in such a way, almost the reverse of some old school guy like Johnny Saint. Like Johnny Saint, if you want to look at old, fluid, like 1920s carny wrestling, Johnny Saint is the fucking man because he has the best counters and the best reversals you've ever seen in your life. Like William Regal worships Johnny Saint. He's like, Johnny Saint is the smoothest. Like he'll do monkey roll flips and like front flips out of handsprings and stuff. And this dude's doing it back in like the early 30s. And, you know, people are talking about flipping and Ricochet and like, oh, they're ruining wrestling. King Ricochet and freaking Will Ospreay are destroying professional wrestling. And it's like, go watch Johnny Saint matches back whenever like cameras were hand cranked and tell me, you know what I'm saying? Like, tell me that he's not fucking ahead of his time. Because that shit was going on like at the turn of the century. And but someone the reverse of that. So instead of being super like slick and all this other stuff, they just come in and they just pick your body apart. It's like I'm gonna put you in a weird elbow thing, and then I'm gonna smash your elbow. I guess Daniel Bryan was like that a little bit in his Ring of Honor tenure.
It made me think of Zack Sabre Jr., but he's not totally focused on one part. He goes all around, but then also come back to whatever the part that the match is telling him to do. He'll go on that part, but like he's all over the place as well.
Yeah.
So maybe think of Zack Sabre.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good call. And he's not built like a complete tank or something. So he's like, it's a perfect gimmick for him.
For sure. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm trying to think of, besides War Games, any other madness coming out of the world of professional wrestling, and of course the Bucks.
See, the thing is, like WCW, a lot of their pay-per-view concepts had like one big gimmick match to it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had War Games, you had that. I mean, Super Brawl. There was like, in the early days anyway? There was a tournament. It was like a tag tournament, which turned into like whoever's left like fights each other and gets the Super Brawl ring, which was kind of interesting. I mean, I would like to see them bring back Halloween Havoc. That's just me.
Yeah.
Like, just there was no gimmick match attached to it. I mean, no real gimmick match attached to it. I mean, every now and then they bring out a match, and it's just like, fucking, we're gonna see if it works this time. Nope, doesn't. All right, we'll put it back on the shelf.
The only gimmick for Halloween Havoc was Vampiro had to be somewhere on the card. It was just like, Vampiro paints his face. Let's put him on the Halloween show. Oh, and Sting paints his face. Let's make sure he's on the Halloween show.
Yeah, they had a graveyard match or something.
Oh, yeah, they did. It was terrible. It was so bad. They were like a swamp. And
not as bad as the Chamber of Horrors match with Abdullah the Butcher and fucking Cactus Jack and those wonderful guys.
Oh,
Switch that doesn't want to stay in place.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember the Vampiro Sting like graveyard match was actually super boring because whoever edited it didn't take out all the dead time where they like walk 30 yards and then they
and we're looking for each other.
Yeah, they're like, Vampiro, where are you? And then it cuts to Vampiro, and Vampiro's like, I'm over here, Sting. You'll never find me. And then it turned into
behind the tombstone.
Yeah, it turns into like Rocky and Bullwinkle going after like Snidely Whiplash. They're going after so crazy.
Coyote.
Maury, there is a whole world of bad wrestling shit that I have not exposed you to yet. So.
It is truly magic. Like. It makes you just look at the screen and be like, why was this this was the best take. It's like the Jumpin' Jeff Farmer thing. If you look at the Jumpin' Jeff Farmer thing, on the lower deal, it says recorded, like previously recorded. Which means they tried that fucking promo 9 times. And
Jesus.
That was the best one.
No cut.
That was that was it.
No Sid Vicious say like let's do that again. Like no, we can't do
or Sid Vicious, whenever his car got put in the trash compactor, and he runs across the corner, and he goes to this box of metal, and he was like, "Why me? Why me?" Such a good take. He's an absolute genius.
Man.
Oh,
I love Sid Vicious. I love that he's aware of it too. He's like, yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, there it is. Oh, it's the perfect read of it too, because the camera does the little wrap around him, and he's like, "No,
where's my car?" So that spot.
Oh man.
Oh man.
See,
that's new Nitro logo too.
They need to make. You know how WWE makes all these compilation videos. They need to make a WCW compilation video of that type of shit. Just, I would buy 4 DVD sets of the Why Me and like the RoboCop thing.
God!
But I would love it. Like if their whole thing and their whole gimmick is they want to riff on WCW, just make a best of the worst of WCW, and I will worship it. I will think it's.
I'm pretty sure there's a YouTube video of that already.
Oh, probably so.
Right?
But the best stuff is with WCW. Here's all these guys that are like tenured professionals. They've been in the business for 20 plus years. But it's almost like they forgot how to do certain aspects of their job when they went from WWE to WCW. And I don't know if it was they weren't reined in as much because, WWE was heavily scripted and all this other stuff. And WCW, they just got to be themselves. But a perfect example is the first year Macho Man Randy Savage goes from WWE to WCW, he never faces the camera during a promo. Ever. He never looks at the camera. He'll have his fucking back to the camera and be like, "Oh yeah," like he just goes off on these tangents, and you're like, "Brother, the camera's on the other side. Like, turn around."
Right here.
Oh god!
And then he'll just walk in front of shots and stuff, and he'll just pace around, and you're like, "The camera can't follow you. It's a stationary camera."
Yeah.
And then he'll like be slightly out of focus because he's not standing on his mark, and he's like.
But that's when he's at his best.
Oh, for sure.
That's when he's at his best.
And because, of course, he's mic'd up just perfect, and he's like, "Oh, come on, brother. What were you?" So just mumble shit, and you're like, "What?"
Macho Man, why are you holding a cup?
Macho Man, why? And like, yeah, we gotta get into
the big time, brother.
Our impression part of the show is what we gotta do.
Oh yeah.
It's like, all right, come in here, the Macho Man. Tell me what you're thinking about Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Oh yeah, let me tell you something about Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah, brother.
He's gonna go around and showboat and hot dog. That's still the best. Like, I love that. Randy said, "You just had to go get your hot dog and grandstanding out there, didn't you?" Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was like WrestleMania 3 or no, WrestleMania 6 because it was him versus Hogan, and it was because of Elizabeth, right? Because Elizabeth was like schmoozing a little bit with Hulk, and Macho Man didn't like that. He was not a fan. Mm-hmm. He was like, "You don't love Miss Elizabeth like I love Miss Elizabeth." That was the whole gimmick, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do it." Oh, it was great, but it was such a good story because like freaking Macho Man really did love Elizabeth. Like that was a genuine thing, man. They got married and everything. So you know, like it was the full gimmick, and he was so upset. He was so cocained out of his mind, and like, he, like the veins coming out of his forehead, and he's like, "You just had to showboat and hot dog and grandstand, yeah." Oh.
Macho brother, I don't love those hoes, brother. You gotta step out of it.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. I'm gonna find it, and I'm gonna link it to you guys so you guys can watch this. It's a thing of beauty because Macho Man was the best about. He was in character, sort of, right? Like he was himself. He was Randy Poffo. He was the guy, and then he was Macho Man at the same time. And it wasn't in the weird, like, break the fourth wall, I'm going to wink and nudge like John Cena does, you know, which works for him. But this was genuinely like, I don't know. Yeah, that's the one. Look at him. Look at that. That is some cocaine fucking face. Look at that. Like, that's not baby oil. That's just sweat. He's just sweating his balls off, man.
Sweating. Yeah.
And you can really tell when he takes his glasses off and he's like really distraught, but like the veins around his eyelids, like he is so gone. He's like like his body's about to just burst.
Fucking Bonesaw, man.
Yeah, that was totally Bonesaw era. Like Randy Savage, where the veins on his arms had veins, like they were just stacked on each other, is just so crazy. But like that's a heartfelt promo. I believed every word of that promo, even if he was coked out of his mind, even if he was crazy. Like I actually believed it. I believe that he was really that upset with Hulk Hogan about fucking grandstanding and hot dogging all the time. And you know, I bought in.
Are you listening to his rap album?
Yes, I did. Be a man, Hogan.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. Oh, such a good.
I need to listen to that CD.
It's fantastic. It's the same song over and over. It's about like how
magic.
Hulk Hogan's a bitch, and that's about like that's the whole album.
Is it on Spotify?
It should be. Just buy that shit.
You should end.
Deluxe
you should
edition.
end the episode. You should end this episode with that.
With the Be a Man Hogan.
It's on Spotify.
Oh god.
Actually, you shouldn't because then you'll get flagged and then
it'll all be iTunes will get all upset and be like,
you get flagged.
Did you get permission?
A little update on my limited to no ads. All my stuff is fine now.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. All my stuff is fine now. They just tripping balls at first. Like, oh wait, what is this? What is this?
Yeah.
No. And then after like a few weeks, like, okay, no, it's fine. The videos are fine.
Like, Yakuza? What? Well, he's part of the Yakuza? And then, like, I could just see... here's what I imagine at the YouTube headquarters is just someone... I wish I had, like, a bottle of water in here. Because basically, what I would imagine is just somebody's typing, they're like...
Yeah.
And then they get, like, a little alert that, like, oh, Nerd in the Bay uploaded a new video entitled... My thoughts on fighting games. And then the guy behind the camera's like, fighting?
It's literally It's literally shit. What is it? Coming to America. Not Eddie Murphy. Arsenio Hall.
Yeah.
Spinning out his water. It's literally that.
Just spit takes. The guy's like, what? And then like, he just does the pose where he's like hovered over his desk, his palms just on the desk, and he's like glaring at this monitor, like, whoa.
Dude,
what could this be?
My video on the video game or the mobile game boxing promoter got flagged. I flipped out. I was like, can people not touch each other?
Yeah, boxing. How dare you?
Like silhouettes of people boxing cannot happen in order to not get flagged. But then that was fine afterwards too. It was like, okay, you guys are just too sensitive right now.
That's right. They're just
I can't be having this in my life.
They're just real trigger happy. Yeah, exactly. Like at this point, because I think out of my hundreds of videos, only like 20 or 30 of them got flagged, and they were all from like 5 years ago. So I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Who cares?
Yeah.
No one's watching that shit anyway. So
yeah,
it's and it is what it is. And if you request a review, they're like, well, it's got to hit a certain view threshold, and then we'll consider taking a look.
After, within 7 days. But then, like, yeah, again, with me, it just took like a few weeks, and they're like, oh, no, it's fine. Now you can have ads. Well, thank you. Fine, thank you. Why were you tripping in the first place?
Yeah. Just calm down.
Because now you're completely buried, and it doesn't really even matter anymore. That's
yeah. There you go.
I wonder if YouTube as a corporation is just like the hypochondriac that reads WebMD all day. They just think like, I got that. I feel hungry.
You're gonna die.
It says stomach ulcers. Oh my god, my arm does the same thing that thing does. It says that it pops, and my arm pops, and it says that's stage 9 cancer. That's what it says right there on the screen. I don't even need to go to the doctor. I'm just going to write my living will right now. Like, that's what... That's YouTube, essentially, in a nutshell.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Crazy. Oh, I was going to tell you guys that I did see a certain motion picture. What is today? The 4th? I saw it yesterday.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, and I'd like to hear what your guys' thoughts about this franchise is. But I got to watch the new Cult of Chucky movie. Yeah!
Nope.
Yeah!
Nope.
Like, is it like super bad that it's good that it's bad, or
that whole series is so bad that
terrible.
It's good. Like it's not like, even just terrible. It's
the motion picture.
Yeah, it's like terrible. TURRBLE. Like terrible.
Okay. Charles Barkley. Okay.
But yes, terrible. But it's also amazing because my wife is a huge fan of 80s and 90s slasher flicks. She loves every single one of them. That's her shtick. That's her gimmick. Like, I get it. And so I went out, and of course I bought the Blu-ray DVD set thing of the new Chucky movie, and we watched it. And it has everything that you would want if you want a Chucky movie. Like, it has him being very vulgar. It has, which is part of the thing. He says very not...
Chucky is vulgar.
He's super vulgar, man. He's talking about, like, all kinds of nonsense. But the stuff that... Because every one of the Chucky movies has made me laugh out loud. And, like,
for sure.
I want to put that out there, that, like, they're entertaining in the way that they make me laugh out loud. Because they always do a shot of, like, under a table or something, to where you see these little pitter-patter feet, like, boop, 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 like him, like, running by. And every one of those shots makes me burst out laughing. Because, he's dressed like Chucky. And whenever I think of it, I think of Chucky from Rugrats. Because he's built to be the same thing. Because he's the redhead kid with overalls. And he wears the Technicolor stuff. Like, they're kind of the same character in my mind. And... And, like, there's apparently a weird theory about that, by the way, to where everyone in Rugrats is based off, like, a crazy horror movie character. So, like Chucky is Chucky, and then Phil and Dill, brother and sister, are actually based on the two dead kids from The Shining. And
okay.
yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, so now here's the whole thing.
I'm seeing the lines, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a whole continuing meta commentary going on in Rugrats, apparently.
All right.
But yeah, Cult of Chucky, goofy. But that's kind of what you expect out of those movies.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
I'm just waiting for the new Blade Runner. That's all.
Yep.
That's all. Like, Blade Runner 1's my favorite film ever made. I don't know if you guys saw like any of the unboxing videos and Twitch videos and stuff, but in the background, I have a whole shelf dedicated just to Blade Runner shit. Like, I have a signed,
and then
and
then you have your arm tattoo of Blade Runner, right?
Yeah.
Your
yeah, I'm gonna be getting one of the Nexus 6.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, dude, I'm all in, dude. I'm all in. But yeah, and then what was great is, I was like, well, they're not remaking the movie, but they're bringing back this franchise, and it is what it is, and it's a cult classic, and it's not for everybody, and I get it. So they're gonna try to adapt it to be a thing that it might not be, but hey, we'll go see it and we'll have fun. But now all the reviews coming out are like, this movie is genius, and I was like, oh my god, they actually made it good. Now I'm even more excited. Which is kind of crazy, right? Because we're all fans of really geeky shit. So whenever you hear that they're bringing back geeky shit, like hell, War Games, they're bringing back War Games, and I'm like, great. I remember how bad War Games was. Hopefully, it's just as bad. But then, like, what if it ends up being awesome? And then it's a bonus because it's awesome. But wouldn't you be kind of upset if it wasn't slightly shitty? Like, it has to just be a certain amount, right? Like a slight of disappointment, a tinge, like a little morsel, pinch of salt. Yeah. Just sprinkle it on there, just a little bit of like jank. Just, and that's what I need out of the Blade Runner movie. I need the slightly I need to be bored for like 25 minutes. Like, I need, you know what I mean? I don't need it to be all action-packed and perfect in every way. I need it to be slightly off in a few places, because the original was, and that's why I like it, because it's not perfect. And they did what they could at the time, and,
Those wonderful scenes of like, oh, they're going to an action, like, there's going to be an action piece here. No, it's just like a minute of them driving.
Yeah, because some of my favorite scenes in the first Blade Runner is whenever Rick Deckard is fucking eating ramen noodles at this like shop, and then Edward James Olmos comes and he starts speaking a different language, and then and it's very racist, and I apologize, but this is exactly how he says the line, and I love it dearly. I love this line where the chef comes and goes, "Oh, he's police officer," and then they're at the Chinese restaurant, and then one of the guys goes, "He say you Blade Runner," and that's exactly how he reads it too, and I was like, "Oh, it's so good." It's so
I actually
good.
just watched the final cut again last night because that was. Oh.
He's like, "You got the wrong guy, pal." I can quote that entire. I've seen every version of that movie probably 30 or 40 times. Like, I'm obsessed with Blade Runner. I've the Westwood Adventure game. I got an original art book that's actually signed by Sid Mead, the concept artist.
Nice.
So yeah, and it's in a frame and it's locked up, and yeah, man, I got every version.
Question for you guys.
Every version of the paperback. Like, when I nerd out on something.
Question for you guys.
Yeah.
Possible answer.
What movie can you quote from start to finish?
Oh.
For me, it's Friday. I was able to quote Friday because this was like middle school and everybody was watching Friday, and they weren't supposed to. Yeah, so it was Friday for me. What movie can you quote?
So
start to finish.
My
were you able to back in the day?
My two, one's Blade Runner, of course. The other one is The Crow with Brandon Lee. Okay. Line for line, I could probably replay the whole movie like in a audiobook form. That's yeah, I love it.
Like audible.com?
Yeah, maybe I could even do it for audibletrial.com/brothering around, and it could be one of the 180,000 books you can choose from. There it is. I'll just jump right back into it. And we'll go back to Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. But I just go into like showbiz mode immediately.
Yeah, there you go.
I take it that that Audible is on good terms with Brothering Around again.
Yeah, they do okay by us, you know.
All right, awesome.
We've
That's great because there was a couple weeks where it was kind of touch and go because of everything.
Yeah.
No mentions.
Yeah, no mentions, no intro. But you know, we worked it in there, so now they have to listen to make sure we're plugging them.
Yep.
So there it is.
They know.
That's the case. They know.
They know, and the people know.
People know, and that's the important thing. I need the people to know. So
yeah.
But yeah, the Crow,
like Demolition Man, like Demolition Man, like how you have sex with that ring thing. Yeah. People out there listening to Brother Around, they know. audibletrial.com/Brother Around.
Now I'm trying to. Yeah, see, it's perfect. It's everything you could ever want. There
you go.
I'm trying to think of some lines from The Crow. Have you all seen The Crow?
Yes.
Okay.
That is on my movie list of movies to watch.
Oh yeah, you need to watch that.
It's
you need to watch
real
that.
good. It has a little 90s jank, but I think it's a beautiful. Like, it actually does remind me a little bit of Blade Runner because there's a lot of mood pieces and a lot of like rain and neon and like it sets a tone really well. Alex Proyas is the director. He nails it. He directed Dark City. He did quite a few other kind of cult classic films. And it really fits that mood. But some of the lines are great. It's like, what you painted it all up for, crackhead? Halloween ain't till mañana.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, T-Bird, bro.
You just reminded me. Yeah.
And it's like, what is the other one? Like, bad day to be a bad guy, huh, Skank? Because the guy's name is Skank. And he's like, I ain't Skank! Skank's right there! Skank's dead! It's like, that's right, Skank's dead. And then he throws him out a fucking window. Hell yeah!
Oh man, I need to watch it again.
Dude, it's good. It's the good shit.
I remember these lines as you say them. Like, oh yeah, you can say that.
It's like top shelf dank, man. It's like this perfect capsule. Oh,
and I mean, like most people know the movie because the history of it and how it was. Of course, the tragedy and blah blah blah. But also the fact that it's well documented that they filmed like all the Crow stuff first, really,
yeah,
and then so it's just like you got the last half of the movie, which is Brandon Lee, and then you have like the little cut-in stuff like right afterwards. It's all like a body double and shit. Yeah,
there's a few, and it's bad. It's, when I say it's like an addiction, it's kind of an addiction. I could tell you every single scene where it's a body double. And then I could tell you the exact scene because they kept part of the scene where he actually did get shot for real as part of it. Yeah, that whole thing. There's actually a few books about it too. I have one on Kindle, and I think it's just called "The Making of the Crow," and it talks about all of it. It talks about like what piece of shrapnel came out of the gun, even though it was a blank. Yeah, it digs in really deep to it, and it's kind of interesting because they didn't want to release the movie at first. You know, they were like, no, we shouldn't. But then the performances were so good, and Brandon really believed in it. And there's even a behind-the-scenes thing that where he's like on set talking about why the movie spoke to him in a way. And and it's so surreal to hear it, knowing that he died on this film set, because he talks about like, you never know when it's going to happen. You never know when you're going to die, and the sense of that you're empowered enough that you can change the fortunes of people around you after your death, based on your actions. And, you know, he goes off on this whole deal, and then you realize, like, holy shit, he dies like 24 hours later. Like, it's really surreal. It's almost like he knew without saying that he knew something was going to happen. And that, of course, with the whole conspiracy theory stuff of the Lee family is cursed and the Shaw brothers are after them. And like that's a whole can of worms, dude. Yeah. That whole Chinese mafia, like triad shit that's going down. It's like, whoa, there's a lot to it, dude. But it's a really, I mean, just even on its own merits, it's a beautiful movie. And I'm kind of glad, you know, they were talking about doing a reboot of it, and I was like, don't touch it. Like, don't touch that.
Yeah, they shouldn't. I mean, they should. That's the one thing they shouldn't touch.
Yeah, they already made like shitty sequels to it. One with
yeah, they did.
With what's her face from Van Wilder, Tara Reid or whatever.
Tara Reid, yeah.
Where I think one of the guy who plays the Crow basically shoots himself in the head with a shotgun to kill someone that was running up behind him. And then, like, his head remorphs into itself, like, whoop, 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 whoop. He's like, like, it turns into this, like, chuckle fest, like, he's crazy Wolverine, that, like, he'll do stuff to his own body and, like, stab himself to stab someone behind him and shit. And you're like, what the fuck is this? Like, it just makes you very terrified. Or, instead of, you know, and it's something poetic about the Crow, because you know, whenever he comes back from the dead and they murdered his wife, and he comes back on Halloween night, or like the day before Halloween, they call it All Hallows Eve or Devil's Night. And he comes back, he puts like the makeup on because his wife was big into stage makeup. So he gets the stage makeup that she loved and he puts it on his face. He looks like a fucking baller. And like, so he goes out and he exacts vengeance for what happened. And then, you know, City of Angels, or yeah, I think it was City of Angels was the sequel. And it was about a magician, but it was kind of neat because he used some of that stuff during some of the kills. So he was almost like the Joker, which was kind of awesome. And I was like, all right. And the guy that they got to play the Crow was really good. And it had like Iggy Pop in it in one of the better scenes I've ever seen Iggy Pop in. And so it was okay. It wasn't as good as the first, but it was fine. But then you started getting into some weird shit to where, like, the third one, I can't even remember what it was called. It was called, like, The Crow Redemption or something. And it's like he comes back from the dead and it starts raining and the rain burns his face and it makes his face into the Crow stuff. Like,
what?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, these...
What?
Oh, yeah, no, he got electrocuted. He gets electrocuted, like, on death row, but he didn't do it. And, yeah, but then he comes back to, like, get revenge on the jury that convicted him or something. And I was like, that's kind of not how this works, but okay, sure. Like, they were just law-abiding citizens that made the wrong call. You know. And then I think he does make, like, a jury duty joke, and you're like, I don't like this. Like, I would rather watch. I would rather watch Chucky again.
I mean, of the Crow movies, obviously the first one iconic. City of Angels was all right. Salvation was, and then we can't forget Wicked Prayer.
Oh Jesus!
With Ed Furlong as James Cuervo. James Jimmy Cuervo. Oh, God. The fuck? I mean, honestly, if there is a way for them to do more Crow movies without fucking with that original one.
Yeah.
Because even when you look at the comics, you got Eric, you got Joshua, you got Irish Shaw, Michael Corby, you have Mark, Leandri, Vincent, Laura, Jamie, the man, Kerry, and Salvador.
Yeah.
Like all those characters portrayed the Crow in the comics, usually for a couple issues,
right?
Except for Eric. But I mean, you can touch on any one of those characters and not fuck with the Eric Draven shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they don't need to do the Eric Draven story because it's already done and it's been done like perfectly. And now, I mean, you could make the Crow really topical now. I mean, that's a thing that, you know, everyone loves a good revenge story anyway. But I mean, you know, now we're in like the post Old Boy era of movies to where like revenge films might be the best films ever made. And if you haven't seen, like, because I what I'm thinking of is all the Korean movies, like Old Boy, which is genius. Like Marco and I did that whole spoiler cast on God. Old Boy, and then like
you had Old Boy, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, and Lady Vengeance. The trilogy.
They're so good. All three of them were genius. And then you had I Saw the Devil, which if you haven't seen that movie, I give that the most thumbs up you can possibly give, because it's basically about, here's a police officer that's tracking down a serial killer, and then he kind of gets off on like fucking with the serial killer, like knowing where the serial killer is going to be beforehand, and like making sure that he can't do the murder that he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then it slowly evolves into like, holy shit, even the serial killer's terrified of this police officer. Like, it turns into a big fucking old boy style, like, what the... And like the ending is the most convoluted but like most beautifully poetic ending. Like, they set some shit up, man, and that's a 2.5 hour long ride that once you're off of it, you're like, what did I just watch? It is like Oldboy. It has that same feeling of like, holy crap, this was intense. But yeah, I Saw the Devil. Even just watching the trailer, you're gonna know if it's for you or not. Because I mean, it's not gory. It's just like a mental mind fuck. And
when did we do that spoiler cast?
Oh god, that was like a year ago, probably.
Nearly a year ago.
Yeah.
I'm still not ready for that kind of movie,
dude.
to watch intense. That kind of movie. So I'm like, oh man, you're telling me there's another one. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, every time I bring up Oldboy, my wife just shakes her head. Like I made my wife watch Oldboy, and she was like, "I thought you loved me." Like at the end of it, she was like, "Why did you put me through this?" She ended up. Yeah, she liked the movie, but because I think Oldboy is the best revenge film ever made. Yeah, we talk about it at great length at a Brothering Around spoiler cast, and I highly recommend it. If you haven't listened to it already, I will say we literally go by the movie scene by scene. So I would recommend you watch the movie first and almost watch our thing with commentary on. You know, like we almost do a commentary track, and and talk about all the different just chaotic nonsenses of that film.
I mean that hallway scene is
yeah.
I
still think it has the best plot twist in film history, because no line of dialogue is spoken during the plot twist. You just see it happen. It's very filmic in nature because there's no big music playing. There's no huge audio cues like dun dun dun, like nothing like that. There's no. It's just you're following a little laser pointer around a room. And like as you see things, as the main character Odaisu sees them, you start making the connections in your own mind, and then like you figure it out a split second before he does, and like there's a sense of like, oh shit, and then it all goes to hell in a handbasket. It's so good. Like
my response was like, no.
Yep.
Don't let it be this. Do not let it be. Oh no.
Yep. You feel the build, and you're like, oh no. Like you look at everyone around you, and they're like holding onto the couch, and they're like, shit.
But I mean, the beauty of the twist is, up until that moment, you don't know it's coming.
Correct.
At all.
Yes.
There is nothing like. Nothing even leading up where you could be like, oh well, there's the twist. Like we're gonna figure that out.
Oh
like,
yeah.
No. It's like just. By the way, here you go. You're like, what?
Yeah, and there's so many different puzzle pieces that have existed throughout the whole movie, like the angel wings, the boxes. There's 2 boxes with purple ribbon on them. One's delivered to Odaisu instantly. One's delivered to the love interest. Like. All these things are happening, and you're like, okay, this is kind of a weird movie. I don't really know what's going on. And then the moment that twist happens is whenever every puzzle piece fits together perfectly, and you're like, oh, no way. And then they do the big reveal. I Saw the Devil is kind of like that, but it actually deals with, like, straight up murder. Like, it goes, it's less of the mind fuck, like, I'm gonna never live this down. And it's more of like, they call it I Saw the Devil for a reason, and it's like, which one out of these two, the police officer or the serial killer, actually saw the devil and really snapped? And, you know, but that's what, so if you're a fan of like Death Note and that type of stuff, I think I Saw the Devil is highly recommended.
Okay. That kind of brings up the point of what we've been talking about on Twitter of the idea of having like that sort of spoiler cast, but like we space it out between like maybe like every after 3 episodes, then we'll do like some sort of dedicated
like a
topic sort of
theme
thing.
topic cast. Yeah,
and then we'll just talk about that. So and we were talking about the idea of either we decide what the topic is, or we throw it out to you guys that give us a topic to talk about, and then we'll definitely talk about it. We'll probably have it like in a vote session sort of thing, like either we all pick a topic that we may want to talk about, and then we'll have the people vote, or just have the people just bring out a topic, and whatever we like best, we'll talk about that on the dedicated episode.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm actually kind of a fan of the idea of let everybody kind of throw in their ideas, like us, listeners, all that, and then we just do like a lethal lottery of it, where it's just like, just kind of, all right, well, they're assigned numbers and roll a dice, whatever. Oh, topic 22. What's topic 22? Well, shit. I guess we got to talk about this now.
Right.
Okay. I like that idea.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of like over the past year or so of Brethren Around before we made the transition to bigger cast and different show style.
Yeah.
Like Marco and I would pick something every week. And it's like, I want you to read such and such. I want you to watch such and such.
Yeah.
And that worked out pretty well. So yeah, something like that, like once a month. Even on Nitro Beard, the old podcast we would do a once every few months thing called the Illiterates Book Club, where we had to pick, we had to pick a video game, and it could be any video game, literally any of them. I think the last episode of Nitro Beard we ever did was the Illiterates Book Club on Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, and it was a favorite kind of all of ours, and we thought it was kind of fitting to like, let's talk about one of our favorite childhood games growing up. And like, let's just do a whole episode about that and have that be the last kind of Nitro Beard show. And it worked out well. I think it worked out well. And that idea has always been a good one, because then it gives us all, like, hell, it could be kind of like the OSW, old school wrestling podcast type thing, to where it's like, okay, we all have to watch a certain wrestling match, and then we have to come back and then we talk about it at length. Or, and it could be really anything. It could be we listen to an album, we watch a movie, we, read, short stories, and it's up to the fans too. If there's some cool shit out there that you want us to get some, info on, if you want to hear what our hot takes, what our top shelf dank takes on this stuff is, like, let us know.
Top shelf dank.
Yeah. It's like pure grade.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah. So that is something that we'll probably most likely be doing. So you guys have some topics.
Yeah, for sure.
Throw it out to us.
So should we pick a topic? Should we show the people what this is about? Should we all pick a topic right now and then do that next week? Okay,
do it to start it off.
Yeah.
And then once they get the idea of it,
of what the show is going to be like. Yeah. So is there anything? And Todd, Moriarty, I mean, are you guys doing a thing for Gimmick Bag? Or, I mean, is there something that we should all jump in on? Like, if it were up to me, I want to see if, does everyone here have, like, Netflix and all that good stuff?
Yeah.
I do.
Because I wonder if I saw The Devils on there. Because I need to corrupt all of you equally. Like,
oh no. Okay.
Like that, you know what I mean? Like, I want to see. Let me check to see if it's on there, because they may have taken.
Yeah, go check. Okay.
It's on Netflix.
Oh shit!
God
Yeah.
damn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's great is the serial killer is played by the main guy from Old Boy. So yeah, it is a good one. It is so good.
So let's decide here. All right. Do we want host choice every month, or do we want to each pick a topic and then they vote for it? So let's decide here.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like, we each come to the table with something, and then we do like a Twitter poll.
Yeah.
And whatever fans vote for is the thing we do the top. That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then my idea would be I saw the devil.
Because you threw that out there. I'm like, oh shit, maybe we should do this.
Right.
Because you already have the topic. So
yeah.
Because if we're doing the each person picks a topic, then I still need to think of a topic.
Gotcha.
But you have one. You had one ready at the hip.
At the hip, dude.
So,
Maverick style.
Yeah. Todd Moriarty, what do you think?
I am going through my list of stuff because, of course, I have a list of things.
I have to create a list of things now. So, yeah.
Okay. I was thinking about this before. We've been kind of touching back on this for past few episodes, but like arcade upbringing. Talk about like the stories of your arcade upbringing.
Oh yeah.
That would be mine.
Okay. So arcade stories.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me get a notepad thing open.
I will say that with your choice, Wes, I would think that there would be a time limit, depending how long that movie will stay up on Netflix.
It's actually gone off Netflix now. Like I had it
up.
It is gone.
Oh,
I had it up, and I was like, "All right, cool. Like, let me add it to my list." Why isn't it letting me add to my list?
What the hell?
And now it's just like, "Oh, you can add a DVD thing to your thing," and I'm like, "No, I don't want the DVD thing."
Oh yeah, because if you click on it, it goes to a Netflix site error.
It is on Amazon.
God damn it!
Add to watch list. It is 2 hours and 22 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, and apparently they're streaming the unrated cut.
Yeah.
Oh God! Fuck.
Well,
okay. I'll find it somewhere.
It's so good. It is so good. But see, here's the thing. I'm kind of a connoisseur in like Korean horror cinema stuff. Mm-hmm. Like anything
no, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Anything by Chan-wook Park is aces. Any of the Vengeance trilogy of Old Boy, Lady Vengeance and Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, that type of stuff. He also did a movie called Thirst about vampires. That he was also part of the compilation films Three Extremes. He did my favorite short film in that. It's only like 10 minutes long called Cut.
You know what Todd and Moriarty should do? They should watch season 1 of Terrace House.
Oh shit! Get you on that Terrace House hype. Oh man. Terrace House was magic.
I still need to watch Aloha State because I guess there's like 3 parts or 3 seasons of it now.
Huh.
Yeah, they're pumping them out for Hawaii.
That's crazy.
So, I don't know.
I guess they just got that room and they need to book it as much as possible.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah, so you can learn about what was it called? The meat incident?
The meat incident, yep.
It's
and
so much drama.
Why certain people are not used, they're being used to their full potential.
That's yeah. Yeah. You may be good at baseball, but are you good at love? It's everything sleazy about like Big Brother, but with the amazing like K-pop
like
sort of
and trepidation of the Japanese culture.
Yeah. Everyone's so polite. But then whenever they're not, they turn into like the most passive aggressive human beings on the planet, and it's amazing. Oh, it's so amazing.
Oh man. Oh yeah, okay. So we have 2 down.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys need time, then go ahead and take time. But definitely let us know on Twitter. If
hit us up on Twitter, and then what I can do is make a poll, and I can have the poll go for like
for the week.
Pretty much 5 days. I mean, we can have it end a few hours before we go live.
There you go.
But yeah, we could do that. Or I wonder if we should do it for like up until Monday or so, and that way, if we need to watch a movie, we have a few days to
Yeah. That's probably going to be the best idea.
Get that settled. So,
because I mean, I'm really tempted to just like. There's a couple that are bouncing around, and I'm searching to see if one of them's on streaming platforms, and it's not.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's like that completely eliminates it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you want to talk about some kind of fucked up movies? Suicide Club was fucking terrific.
Oh yeah, Suicide Club was great.
Okay.
I could talk Suicide Club for sure.
I hear that name bounce around before.
Yeah, the only thing that sucks is it's not on streaming, so I mean, but there is something on a streaming service that would be very interesting and keeping with the gimmick bag whatnot. WCW Sin.
Oh shit.
Okay.
That reaction is that says it all. WCW Sin. I think that oh shit was because Kami knows what happens during that event.
I need to see. Oh shit! Yes, I do. Oh, when we talked about him earlier too. Oh man.
Yep.
Oh.
Okay. So is that your choice, Todd?
That is my choice.
Okay. So WCW Sin.
All right. Cool.
See, it's hilarious because I'm more afraid of watching that match of WCW Sin than I would ever be to watch I Saw the Devil. Like, I could watch shit about serial killers all fucking day, but showing, ugh.
That nervous laugh is beautiful.
Yeah, yep. Oh. Should we even give away what the thing is?
I mean, sure.
No, okay. Well, because we've all seen it. Like, I think we've all seen it. It's whenever Sid Vicious busts his leg out and has the compound fracture, where his leg, like,
god,
his leg turns into like a giraffe neck. It just keeps extending.
Oh god!
Yeah, it's horrifying.
And they don't stop the match.
They keep
It's the worst. Like,
no.
The only thing,
whole pay-per-view is shit.
Oh,
and then there's that, and
is just like actual. Like, it almost turns it into like a smut film at that point. And then the only thing like more horrendous I think that I've seen in wrestling was whenever Eddie Guerrero, and I think this was on like a freaking SmackDown episode. I don't even think it was on a pay-per-view. Did his
where he just like the whole ring was just his blood.
Where it was a 5-star frog splash, and he comes down, and his elbow hits the ground before anything else, and then, oops, my elbow just goes the other way, like a fucking flamingo leg. And, like, it completely...
that was his debut on Raw with the Radicals.
Oh, my God. It was so gross. Because he hit so hard, it just ripped. His elbow just ripped out of his arm, and then it just went the other way. And it literally was like a triangle, and he was just like looking at his own arm, and then he like looked around, and I'm like, that's not supposed to happen.
Marie, you know that face I make when Alexa Bliss does her little broken arm trick thing?
Yes.
This is way worse than that.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, because it's blood, and I mean it's a true compound fracture, so the bone is sticking out of the arm, and yeah. It is not a fun thing.
Whereas Sid's leg just liquefies. I mean...
Nope.
Yeah.
Fuck. Nope.
Yeah. See, that's way worse than I Saw the Devil. So that's what I'm saying.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Something tells me you guys are going to have a much better time about all of this than I will. I'm just going to be so fucking pissed at all of you for like maybe a few days.
Yeah.
I'll get over it eventually.
Eventually,
the nightmares will stop.
It'll
be okay.
Arguably, I'll put it this way, when it comes to like most of these things, it'll probably be like you and I like watching it while we prep and shit.
Okay.
So it's...
See, but here's the beauty of this idea. This is a perfect way that you can exact revenge on us. Because then, if we do some shit, and you're like, oh, hell no. And then you know of, like, the dankest thing. You're like, I know. I'm going to make them watch a whole fucking season of like Care Bears or something. And like just make us be the most miserable. Like, I want to stop watching this, but we can't because we have to do it for the
Total
people.
Bellas.
Oh.
Total Bellas or Total Divas?
See, here's the thing. Like, I'd have to get drunk, but I could watch it. Like, I could watch it.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. We can turn it into like a drinking game.
Yeah.
Affair, just to like so we can all power through it and hopefully not die of alcohol poisoning.
Every time
I'll
on
sober.
Yeah, every time on Total Bellas, whenever Nikki Bella says, "I thought we were sisters." You've changed. You've changed. Do you ever since you got with Daniel Bryan? You're just not the same. That's been like 8 seasons worth of drama.
You're welcome.
You used to party all the time, and now you don't party at all, and you want to have a baby. I don't understand.
John's gonna marry me, you know that.
One day he's gonna. I know he's gonna do it.
We're gonna have kids.
And then Bree's like, John Cena specifically said 1, he's not getting married, and 2, he doesn't want children. I know, but
when the right person comes around. Like,
yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, to you, he just sees you as a rat. I mean,
Right.
it's the way it is.
Oh.
Brutal. Truth hurts. Oh man, but I think that's it. So, Moriarty, anything coming to mind? Like, is Total Bellas the one? Is that the pick?
That was the worst thing I could think of right off the top of my head. I'll have to think more on something else.
Okay. So you'll let us know on Twitter then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yes,
okay.
I will.
Okay.
So
Sounds good.
once we got that, we'll make that graphic, and it could be something like make us watch the Ralph Bakshi Hobbit movie because that shit was garbage. Oh my god! But
Hot garbage.
the hot garbage. It smells like a dumpster fire. Oh, man. But I think that's it. We're at an hour 20, right at that magic moment
There you go.
of the time. But I think that's it. What was this? Wait, was this episode 40? Was this
39?
39?
39?
I was about to say, this is 40. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, it was just a disaster. It's episode 39. It's funny. It just made me reminded me of the Snoop Dogg bit where he's on Jimmy Kimmel, and it's like Planet Earth. And he's like, what kind of animals is these? Is these mongooses? Like, I just thought about that because I was like, what episodes is these? Is this episode 40? No. Is these mongooses? All right, that's our time, guys. For Moriarty, for Todd, for Marco Flores, I'm Wes Gardner, and for the ever illustrious Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. We are brothering around, and you turn the tables in the wrong way. We'll see you guys next week.